update video tonight. Might not be so quick. I don't script these things. We'll just see how long this video gets. So maybe do a quick look at GRT. I haven't really been paying attention to charts too much. But let's start off with where we were. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I was kind of expecting this move up. I've been looking at this count for, I don't know, month and a half now, hoping that it would play out. With that said, I will state that this could morph into something else, guys. I mean, any good Elliott Wave trader knows that at the drop of a hat, your entire count could change just based on one move, okay? So here from the low at 877-ish, 878, I felt like we had a move up. We immediately get a three-wave move to the downside. Now, I'm sitting there thinking that most people probably thought, okay, well, it's time to go. For some reason, we ended up stuttering right in through here. And this took quite a while to just stutter through this. Whatever it is, I felt like it was corrective. So I felt like we had done some sort of an A, B, C. Now, this down here is just pure garbage. If you watch my videos, you know I don't necessarily count everything. Sometimes I try to, but sometimes it's just not worth it. You can back out to the daily and just look what you see, you know. So maybe I'll come up with something while we're doing a little freestyling here in a few minutes. But anyway, three-wave move, somehow, right? And then we start to come back down for another three-wave move. My hope and intention, was that Ethereum would come down, make a deep wave 2, and Bitcoin would make a new low during the process. So we're going to have to wait and see if that plays out. For now, we hit target. There's a few reasons why I was looking for this target. So first and foremost, the golden zone was up here. In log here, we've tagged it. In arithmetic, we have not yet. But we have hit the low volume node here in the VPVR. We have also, as you can see in arithmetic, we have made the channel. Okay, so we've got the channel boundary sitting there. Log, we did not touch it, but we touched the upper part of the downward sloping channel here. So there's some reasons, okay, why this would be a good short to get into. I did short the top of this. I shorted a little bit before it. Ended up closing it barely in profit because I realized it was one move too soon, it looked like. So anyway, now I will say, without a doubt, I see a three-wave move right here all day long. I see then a combo that gave us an A wave, we had a B wave, and then an impulse to make a C wave. So three-wave move up for a W, we end up in a flat for the X, okay? I was a little concerned about this flat here because it seemed like there was supposed to be another drop to make the impulse complete, but it is what it is. Coming out of that, right here, I was expecting something nice and clean. Give me a nice clean three-wave move, something like that. That's not what we got. But at the same time, we were going through this. All of this mess here was during Christmas. It was during New Year's. Low trading volume. There's nothing going on. If you sat here watching charts, you're basically wasting your time. So I think it kind of stuttered what was actually going to happen in the markets. Okay, nobody's trading. It's that simple. Now I hate the look of this. As this being an ABC, absolutely hate it. Can't stand it. Frankly, it looks more like a 1, 2, and a 3 as opposed to an ABC. It does. I could even count this as an impulse. Okay, so. Again, this could morph into something else. We're just going to have to wait and see. For right now, it has hit the target of right where I was expecting it to. Feel free to go to back to the last video marked ETH, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Probably the last couple videos. Up here, the bull trading EWO, Elliott Wave Oscillator. I got some trend lines up here just kind of watching. We've hit the top. We do have some pretty good oversold action going on the... overbought action on the daily. Just got home from work. I'm exhausted, so excuse me if I screw everything up. Probably going to happen. for all intents and purposes, as I said, it's hit my target. So I was kind of expecting all this. I think it's rather dirty. I cannot get away from the idea of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, very long C wave for the Y of the B leg. So now, for all intents and purposes, the idea is that we're going to come down here. And this is going to be our final drop. And I hope Bitcoin makes a new low while Ethereum does not. I've been saying that for like the last month. I hope that's what happens. So the other reason why we needed it to get high like it has is because I wanted to be able to make another one-to-one relationship for the Y wave down here at the 1-to-1 without breaking this low. We needed this to get up here, okay? For this whole pattern to play out. This pattern is what we're going after. So we needed this to stop. So if we continue down from here and it just keeps coming down, I'm going to expect right here at 917. I do not think that this is an impulse. I do not think that it's a diag. I think this is a corrective move to the downside. Now, based on your count, the question is going to become, well, is this just a huge sideways move? Or is this actually going to be bullish? Are we going to go down? Or I mean, what's going to happen? My gut says that ETH has bottomed, and we're just putting in a deep 2. People are expecting down. Bears are going to push it down. So let's dive into a little bit lower of a time frame for a minute. So, again, this move up, this curl up that we've had, it's frankly, it's just nasty. We'll get to it in just a minute. So again, I think we had impulse into a flat to make our B. We get another impulse to make our C wave. This is a W. Okay? We're dealing with the B wave right here. Okay? We're dealing with this section only right here. Okay? So at that point, it looks like to me that we go into a combo to get our A wave. There's our A wave. And then we get another A, B, C for our B wave, and we get our dive, our impulse. To me, this whole move right here, 100% smells like a flat. So, 3-wave move into a 3-wave move. What do we expect afterwards? Well, we should expect another 3-wave move, a combo, right? So, now, what gets a little strange in here is that I could actually count this as an impulse complete. The problem is I know I've seen some guys that have wanted to say, 1, 2, 3, triangle 4, and a 5. And maybe it is. The problem is this move here is an impulse. It's an impulse. You can't count it as a zigzag. You can't count it as a combo. You can't count it. It is an impulse. That right there throws off the table for this being an impulse. Just can't. This has to be a flat no matter what. There's just no way around it. Now, as you can see here, I've counted this actually as an impulse, but there is another way to count it. You could say that we have had, and I'm not going to break down the whole thing, okay? Let's mark this a different color. You could say that we actually had an A, a really messy triangle B, and then you could recount this move here. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, I got to do some little measuring on it. Haven't thought about it too terribly much just to see what it all looks like, but the third is barely longer than the first, so technically it's valid if we wanted to call this an impulse. Just barely. So, again, this was all during Christmas, New Year's, so it's frankly, it's a bunch of garbage. I think the point for me is this is what I was expecting. We had a three-wave move. I'm expecting a three-wave move. So sometimes counts aren't going to always be beautiful. They're not always going to line up. So the bigger question right now is, are we gonna come down, or are we gonna stay? Are we gonna keep mooning? If we keep mooning, I'm not gonna really know why, to be honest with you, because I don't see this area being a completing pattern. Now, there is one thing that you could say. You could say you had 1, 2, 3, a messy little tiny 4 somehow, and then a 5. You could, I suppose. I don't like it as much because then it leads us into what would then have to be declared as an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we make a new low, so that this being an impulse by itself doesn't work. So for right now, I still have to stick with this. I have to stick with what I see in the patterns. Three-wave move, three-wave move. We get the A wave, and we get another three-wave move. So now, if you somehow wanted to call this an impulse, we're almost to the 1-to-1, almost to the top of the channel. Right now, the downward sloping channel is what's affecting us. As you can see, we've come right up to it. So for me, it's kind of a wait and see. I think it's I think this secondary part here of the wave looks like complete garbage for what the count is. It's not impossible. I just think it's garbage. So that's kind of what we're going with right now. If this is an impulse, you know, I'd hate to see something like this. This would invalidate the count. I mean, if we were, let's say if this was not a zigzag, I mean, if this just kept going up, I'd have to restructure the entire count. I just don't think there's any restructuring there. But you know what? Time will tell. Suddenly in a week, I might make a video and be like, God dang, I was stupid. I didn't see this. And there's the count. So anyway, just a quick update. That was the target that we were looking for. GRT. I use GRT sometimes to look at what, to get a sense for what Bitcoin might do, because GRT follows Bitcoin to the tick. Right now, it looks like we've had a flat down here at the low for our fourth. I was kind of expecting it to go there. We got a larger pitchfork on the entire move that certainly is stopping us from getting out. This whole part on GRT is just a mess. Just like even Bitcoin. This whole run right here is just a mess. You know, we clearly get an impulse. We get a flat for a 2. And then what happens? Just what happens? You know, actually, crazy flat or something. You could probably break it down, but it's just garbage. So right now, I'm just leaning on the fact that it looks like we've had a flat to a 1-to-1, and we go, which gives me credence to the idea that, you know, here we have, in log anyways, gotten this nice hit, downward channels there, even in, well, it's just a trend. So right now, it's going to be a sit back and wait and see what happens. Like I said, I did enter short, so that's it. I think the big interesting news is on ADA. Oh, where's my ADA? Yeah. Pretty interesting what ADA just had a pop off. Bitcoin against Ethereum. You know, this section has been a little bit quirky, a little strange. I could see that we had an impulse down into a large flat. And then A, B, C, D, E. I think there's an issue right here, though. No, okay. So the B and the D wave, you know, obviously the D can't cross the B. But they're right on par with one another. I mean, to the tick. So I guess it's kind of hard to say if it's valid or not, but I was kind of hoping for, so another A wave, A, B, C, D, E, and now we start to get the move off. And we're going to come back down, it looks like, for a little bit. What did this measure out to? I haven't looked at this chart in a little while. Well, it would ultimately be a 1, 2, and a 3, which means that you would be hoping that this would be just a fourth wave that it's putting in. So let's see here. We're tagging a 50 right now, but right now it looks like a dead drop. Not conducive to an actual corrective pattern. So wait and see if this plays out. What happens with it. If it's not a triangle, well, we'll have to reevaluate it. So here's my 2 bullish count for Ethereum versus Bitcoin. 1, 2, 1, bigger 2. Now we're coming into some sort of a 1, 2 again, and this thing is going to go. So we'll see. Well, tonight's video is brought to you by PK, who had some nice words to say to me tonight about the ETH charts. So this one's for you, man. Otherwise, you guys have a great night. If you got any questions or anything, feel free to put them down in the comments. Come check out Trade Devils, learn some Elliott Wave, and we'll catch y'all later.